YouTube! Hello, welcome back to Clay's Chronology. Hope everyone is doing well when you're listening to this. Today we are going to be listening to Cas3y episode 4. Don't know too much about this call, other than it does have the worst thumbnail in the history of YouTube. It is the one with Lorne's fucked up foot and whatever the fuck is going on with the bottom of it. So I do have that mostly hidden. So if if I'm clicking around and not hitting my pauses as clean, it's because I have so little of the YouTube thumbnail or video showing because, that is some truly fucked up things to look at. Just looking through the thing, it looks like the date of this call is November 18th, 2021, so still only a few days until when they've actually been talking by phone, so probably their second or third call. But yeah, let's hop right in.
The difference with my trust with you and with Jamie is completely different because
What?
it's like with Jamie, I trust Jamie, but I'm still on edge with Jamie and always have been. And with you, I don't have that.
You always have been. Didn't you date her for like 2 years?
True. Yeah. Well, the reason I always have been is because of her best friend Will being there all the time. And Will was married to Winnie. And Winnie was the one that betrayed you for a year.
Oh, okay.
See, Lorne should have known this is a catfish right here, because no sane person would listen to someone say those words and then still want anything, even a friendship, to do with you. Like, come on, man.
So, yeah. Winnie was me and was married to Will.
Yeah, and I never knew anything about Winnie even being married.
Okay. But so you haven't trusted Jamie for dating here for 2 years because she had a friend.
Yeah, well, see, Jamie and Will left California to get away from them because Will and Winnie got divorced. Because Winnie fell in love with me, and she told Will that, and she gave had divorce papers delivered to Will, and so Jamie and Will both wound up getting COVID, and after they both got over COVID, Jamie had her voice problem, so she had a friend in Nashville, and that's where one of the specialists was in Nashville. So her and Will went and stayed with that friend in Nashville, and that's where Jamie still is. Yeah.
Okay. So that made her not trustable. Why?
Good question.
Well, she still has something to do with Winnie's sister, and Winnie's sister wasn't trustable either.
Yes, remember the woman that Lorne cried over, ruined his Mother's Day. Yeah, I remember. She wasn't trustable, though. And also, Jamie had nothing to do with Debbie the last, year and a half of their quote-unquote relationship, which was not a relationship, but year and a half after when they were talking. She never mentioned Debbie once, other than, remember when you tried to cheat on me with her? Like, what are we talking about?
Okay.
So there's just things about that whole group, because actually a woman named Emma was the one that actually started the whole thing, and she wound up getting other people involved to catfish me, and it was just a whole cycle of being catfished for a few years.
And you stayed. You were fine.
Knowing what was going on.
You stayed in it.
Not knowing who was behind the whole thing. And it turned out that Emma and Winnie were behind the whole thing.
Winnie and Emma, the same person.
How many people have catfished you?
1 million.
There's actually, well, I would actually say 3 because Emma was just a friend, but she was the one that was helping to set the whole thing up from some girl named Ramona, which was the first one, and then Winnie, which was the second one. She portrayed you. Then they'd record me. I'm gonna tell them they'd get me all upset, and and especially when I was drinking beer, they'd get me all wound up, and I'd go off on them, and they'd record me.
How
And they'd go
so?
to work.
Like, how did they wind you up?
You know, they'd wind me up um, by having Winnie do stupid shit, like doing drugs, and
Yes, and your response to that quote-unquote fucked up shit could have been hanging up the phone, never talking to them ever before. Sorry, ever again. But you were so goddamn desperate to maybe find someone who will come up to see you, and you knew that maybe Winnie, because of quote-unquote how fucked up she was and maybe how desperate she would be with someone, you were okay with it. Now it's, oh, it was fucked up shit. But at the moment you didn't care. You cared because it prevented your ultimate goal of her coming up to Maine, but you did not actually care what she was doing.
or having
So
her.
they like drugged her.
No, well, she did drugs anyway. I found out after.
No, you knew it was during.
They'd have her pretending like she was doing drugs right then and there on the phone. They'd have her acting like she was doing drugs. I'd be trying to tell her not to do them.
How do you act like you're doing drugs on the phone?
Good point. Good question.
Just like you're snorting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Make the snorting sound. Sounds like you're snorting up drugs.
And that got you wound up?
Yeah, because I don't, never done drugs. I don't like drugs. Don't believe in drugs. And she was.
Well, so
after she did it once, I think Casey might be going on to say this, but after she did it once, that's when you break up with her. If you don't, quote, believe in drugs.
She did drugs on the phone the first time. Why didn't you continue talking to her?
Good question.
I don't know.
Well, you do.
For a while, okay.
Desperate.
For a while, she didn't do the stuff for a while. She acted like she was all neat and clean for a while, you know, until they got me so that I had feelings for
her. Okay.
So then she started doing the drug thing. Then it was just one thing after another. They just constantly think up. Then it was an all sex thing. It was sexual. She just doing all kinds of stupid sex.
The KC character that in canon is Winnie was super sexual. She was in quote unquote sexual rehab. So Winnie magically being sexual or whatever is not like out of the blue. Like all this stuff was very upfront and you were extremely aware of it. And you just, again, did not care because you had that FOMO dick, as Wes likes to say.
Shit, and it was supposedly because of drugs.
Then why did you let it continue?
Because I still had feelings for her. So finally...
That doesn't make any sense, though.
Well, when you love someone, you do things that don't make sense.
Boo.
You hang on when it doesn't make sense to hang on.
She was a drug addict who would have sex with people?
Well, when you say it like that, it's crazy.
Whether she was really having sex with him or not, I don't know.
Does that matter?
I thought she was.
I thought she was, yeah.
And she pretended to be me?
She pretended to be you. For a year, she pretended to be you.
So what did they say when they were pretending to be me?
At first, it was that you had a dance school and that you owned a dance school, and that they could drive by all the time. And well, Emma said she could drive by at any time and see you in the dance school, with you working or not. And that's kind of how part of it started right there, was because Emma would drive by and she say she was driving by, and she would call me, and she'd say that she was looking at through the windows of your dance school right now, and she couldn't see you in there. And she said that, well, there was one time that she hung up the phone, hung up with me, told me that she was going to hang up and she was going to go in and check see if you were there, and she pretended like she actually went in to see if you were there, and then she came back and called me and told me that you weren't there.
Wow.
And she said that your employees inside said that you hadn't been in all day, and that's kind of how all that thing with the drugs got started.
So, does she look like me? How did you think she was me?
Well, I took Emma's word. Well, they sent me some pictures of you.
Again, imagine listening to the last 4 minutes of this conversation, and no normal person or sane person would want anything to do with you. They would run for the hills. This man is fucking out of his mind.
And it told me that just took their word for it by the pictures. I knew what you looked like.
So they said I was doing drugs.
Yeah. But no.
And you're in sex rehab, Casey.
Oh no. At the end, it was very, very sad.
Yeah, the fact that you fell for it is very sad. Correct.
Did you meet her when you realized it wasn't me?
Nope. I met Emma and her boyfriend Dan. I met them. I actually invited them to my house. And they came to my house, and I didn't know at the time what they were doing, but they brought a 6-pack of beer over.
Mm.
And
what happened to your house?
What happened to my house?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, what happened to my house?
You were living in a house?
Oh, well, no, the trailer.
Oh, okay.
I just consider it a house. It's a trailer house.
No, you want it to be a house.
I hate saying the word trailer.
Also, the dumbest fucking thing in the entire world. Trailer house.
I hate that. Yeah, I hate saying that I live in the trailer.
Well,
that's
why
the
truth.
Turn it into a house.
A trailer house doesn't sound better.
Yeah.
It
I
still
don't
has
know.
the word trailer in it. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Whatever makes you feel better, I guess.
God, he's so squeaky.
It just makes me feel better.
Okay.
But
so how are you in love with her if you never met? That's where I'm confused.
Good question.
Well, because we'd be over the phone. We'd be over the phone like all the time.
Yeah, but like you never like went on dates or anything. So like, how did you love her?
Just spending all that time with her on the phone and going through things with her that I think that in my mind was real.
They were real.
But
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
So you loved her, and the entire time she was playing a game with you?
Yep.
Weren't being real.
And then it was, you said, it was before
when I invited
that?
Emma over here.
Uh-huh.
Sorry,
I'm trying to figure it all out. Very confusing.
It is. It's very confusing, I know. When I invited Emma over here, Emma and her boyfriend, I didn't know what they were doing, but they brought a 6-pack of beer over, and Emma was sitting next to me, and of course, Emma had always talked about her tits and her tattoos and all this shit, and I wasn't attracted to Emma. Emma was married when I first met her, but because of her...
What does this have to do with anything?
Remember, he weren't attracted to her, but there are multiple videos of pretty early on in their friendship of Lorne begging, literally begging to see her tits and her pushy, and saying that he would stick his dick in her mouth if she was asleep. At one point during the Winnie saga, he says, "If I break up with Winnie, I'll have to go after someone, and quote, that might just be you." You know, that's at other times said he'd go after her if it weren't for Dan. So like, this is all fucking cap and bullshit.
Well, because of her obsession with me, she wound up doing drugs and losing her son because she got so obsessed with me and hanging around the wrong people. And
But
she got a divorce from her husband.
You said, okay, continue, sorry.
She got a divorce from her husband, and her and Dan wound up being boyfriend and girlfriend. And Dan was in this same Church of God thing that Emma was in.
No, you don't.
So then, how do you know any of that's true?
I don't for a fact, because I never did research on them. I took their word.
So none of that could be true.
Yeah,
you could
none
be
of it
happily
could be
married and everything.
Yeah, could be. I mean,
Probably is.
Probably. They're messed up, period. I mean, the whole thing was messed right up.
Messerita.
But Emma and Dan showed up here and with a 6-bag of beer for me. And
say it again.
Emma had a tank top on, and she had her cleavage showing as much as she possibly could. Wanted me to see her tattoos and all this stuff. And I'm like, it looked terrible.
Why does that matter?
It doesn't.
She was always talking about her tits and her tattoos, and and Dan was across the table from me.
But what does it matter though? I keep asking, and you're not telling me why that matters to everything else.
Because it always irritated me that she did that. I considered her a friend, and she was always trying to hit on me, and I didn't like it. I had always told her, don't do it. Don't hit on me because you're just my friend.
Lies.
But she had always done it, and that irritated me.
Okay, but why are you mentioning that? Like,
because
what does that have to do with
she did it for
the
a
other
reason.
girl who was, like, catfishing you and doing drugs or whatever?
Because Emma and Winnie were friends. Emma and Winnie and Dan were all friends.
Oh, okay.
So they were all doing this catfish thing together. And when Emma and Dan were here, Dan was sitting across the table from me recording me when I didn't know it. And they were talking. They had brought gifts that Winnie had wrapped up for me. And
like what?
I can't remember what it was now, but she did a terrible job wrapping it. And it looked like a 2-year-old wrapped up.
Why is he such an asshole? Like, this is the man. This woman ruined his life. He literally lost like a decade, 5 to 10 years off his life, stressing over this woman, yelling at her and about her and blah blah blah. Now he's like, oh, fucking. And he was, and in that video, he was so fucking giddy over the gifts. He was so happy. But now it's like, oh man, it was wrapped like a fucking 2-year-old. Man, fuck you.
Seriously, it looked like a 2-year-old wrapped up.
Who cares?
But the whole thing was just so screwed up. It's hard to believe I got come.
No,
that I didn't catch on to what they were doing.
It is so easy to believe. It's unbelievably how easy it is to
figure that
believe.
out.
Yeah, but when I did figure it out,
when she was pretending to be me and doing drugs, that was during like the beginning, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was.
So then why did you still talk to her?
Good question.
It was actually about 6 months after.
Not a very long time.
No, not at all.
Not a very long time, but I was also spending a lot of time with her on the phone.
Okay. So what did them coming to your trailer have to do with that? I'm just trying to make sense of what you're saying. Because you kind of seem all over the place.
It's because trying to remember the stuff, it's the whole thing just is all over the place. kind of like sporadic
So,
memories of it. But
so,
Dan was recording me. He was sitting across the table from me, recording me, and I didn't know it.
Oh no!
so
That's
why
the stuff that they would do.
did you continue to talk to someone who lied to you and tricked you?
Oh, I think you know why.
I don't know. I ask myself that now, but then back then I think part of it was because I still had feelings for Winnie, and Emma.
But she was
connected with
pretending.
Winnie. Yeah, she was pretending.
So you
but yeah,
basically had
I was.
feelings for someone who didn't even exist.
Yeah. But see, I wasn't pretending, so my feelings were still there. So it was like I was holding on to something that wasn't real,
No, we're real.
but it was hard to let
Yeah,
go of it.
but you get what I'm saying. So
No, he does
when
not.
she was pretending to be me, and then you found out she wasn't me, basically the person you fell in love with didn't exist the entire time.
Exactly.
Right. So then why after that did you continue talking to her
Good question.
after
Well,
you found out that it wasn't me and she didn't love you and everything she said was just made up?
because then her sister started in on me.
Not an answer to the question at all.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
How many?
He was about, and maybe he goes on to say it, but he was forming the sentence, then her sister wanted me or wanted to date me. Are you out of your goddamn fucking mind, bro? No. She did not want you or to date you. We have all the evidence. Everyone's heard the calls. Cas3y will hear the calls soon. Debbie did not want you, my guy.
Women have catfished you.
What's funny?
It was
None of this is
I'm
funny.
telling you.
Well, so after she lied to you, why would her sister all of a sudden not also be a liar?
Then, I don't know. They seem so different.
The only answer to that question is because Lorne thought, believed, knew that that Debbie looked like Malibu Barbie, and that 1% of hope that someone who looked like that was talking to him was enough to satiate whatever fears he had. That's the only answer. He's going to give some stupid answer that Debbie did not act like Winnie, so that means she wasn't fake. Even though if Winnie was fake, how could she have a quote-unquote real sister just because they act different? That's the answer he's going to give, but that is not the correct answer. That is very wrong.
The way that they talk. I mean, I don't even know if she was really your sister.
And you dated
it's just
her?
something
Too?
No.
Huh?
So you thought you were dating her sister?
I started to for a little bit.
Nope. Incorrect.
Why would you
That
date
was-
your girlfriend's sister?
Good question. He's a fucking scumbag.
Because that was messed up.
Kind of messed up, don't you think?
It was very messed up.
Well,
Not by them, Lorne. By you. Do you not see how messed up your action was there?
like
thing
what
was
you
messed
did. I mean, like
Yeah, you-
dating someone's sister.
Scumbag.
Well,
No.
but I was messed up at the time too. So.
Oh my god, dude.
You know, I didn't
Oh
know what
my
to think and what
God.
to believe and who to believe and how to believe anything in. And I was messed up with everything.
I'm sorry, that took me 5 full seconds to process. He just said the phrase, I was messed up at the time, in regards to this. How is that still an excuse you're using?
Thing that they were doing, and I was going along by what Emma would tell me, and that it was a very messed up situation, and it's like Jamie. I knew Jamie knew them, but I had only talked to Jamie like one time, or maybe 2 times. I think I had talked to her. during
They
that
loved
whole
each
thing
other.
with
Remember,
Emma
the
and
second
Winnie
time.
and Debbie,
Oh.
and during that whole 2 years. And then the next thing I know, well, after I'm done with Winnie, well, Jamie's interested in me. But Jamie's the only one that was honest with me about anything.
She were real.
And she's the one that sent me her ID.
And then you sent that to Casey.
Okay.
Fucking weirdo.
The thing I didn't tell you about Jamie is the thing that I wanted to keep a secret for the time being.
Yeah.
Was she has notoriety. She
Oh
has
my
some
God.
notoriety.
What is it?
And
Like,
it's because she's a porn
you
star.
spot a mistake.
Oh my God! She is a porn star with all that notoriety.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a porn star.
Oh my
And
God.
Very hard for me.
Yeah.
It's
Why?
very difficult for me to. Well, because it was hard for me to think about her going out and having sex with somebody else,
Yeah.
and then coming back and telling me that she loves me.
Yeah. Almost like it was her job.
okay.
That's a very difficult thing for me to grab onto.
Yeah.
But she was always. I could always trust her.
No.
Always been
No.
on.
No. 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 You also not just every Jamie call disproves that, but just like 15 minutes ago in this call, he talks about how he can never fully trust Jamie because she was friends with Winnie and shit. Like, what are we talking about?
Edge with her because of her having a connection to them.
And so after you started dating, you became a porn star.
No, she was a porn star before,
Yeah.
long before I
So-
started dating.
Okay. So then why did it bother you?
Good question.
Well, because now I was with somebody that was sleeping with other guys, and then she came
Well,
back and told
yeah,
me that
but
she
you
loved
knew
me.
that.
I know, but it didn't bother me before,
Mm-hmm.
but when I got with her, it bothered me.
What a
Wow.
fucking
That
dumbass.
poor woman.
Yeah, she's really a nice person. She's
Yeah.
a very nice woman,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's terrible that he liked you and dated you, and then in the middle of your relationship, you just decided you didn't like her job.
yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't
Wow, that
see
poor
he
woman.
he doesn't see that as fucked up.
I know. I brought it to counseling to class, and I asked them if I was wrong in feeling that way.
What the fuck?
Well,
Who
yeah,
cares?
he already had the job.
I know, but it's such a difficult thing for me to handle. See,
So-
there's part of me that knows that I'm wrong about it,
Yeah,
and
I'm
that
sure.
I should be able to accept it. But with the way that I felt about her, it made it harder to accept
It were hard.
Yeah, I guess you should have thought about that before dating
Yeah.
her.
True.
Yeah, I should have.
All right, and so that is the end of Casey episode 4. Yeah. So, I think that's all I'll have for you today. Then, so I appreciate you watching. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I recently hit 300 subscribers, which is obviously not a very big number, but it was still cool to hit a milestone. So I appreciate everyone who comes out, listens to whatever I'm doing, because I don't it's not good. I know that, but I do have a good time doing it, and I'm glad that even one person, let alone the hundreds of views my video gets, that want anything to do with me. So I appreciate it. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day whenever you listen to this, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.